Amen.
Amen.
Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times and rises up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. Rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thy heart be glad when he stumbleth. Lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Verse 16 again. For a just man falleth 7 times, and he rises up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. You may be seated.
Amen.
We fall down, but we get up.
All right. Thank you, Jesus.
We fall down, but we get up.
Yes, we do.
Now, this proverb is a form of a command to the wicked, telling him not to rob the house of the just. A righteous man, a just man. Because in the end, the righteous shall not be defeated. Even when he falls 7 times, the righteous will get back up again. Now, this should not only give a warning to the wicked, but assurance to the just,
All right.
to the righteous. Now, you might ask Elder Robison, what is a just man? What is a righteous man?
Okay.
What is a just man? What is a righteous man?
A just man or woman is one who has been set right in his or her relationship with God.
All right. Yes.
Having a correct understanding of God's character that reflects in his or her life.
Amen.
Having a correct understanding of God's character that reflects in his or her own life. We have to be careful when we say that we are a Christian, but nothing in your life reflects that. Because to be a Christian is to be Christ-like.
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Now, what does it mean to fall down? One definition is to fall from an upright standing position to a prone or horizontal position. Another definition for to fall down is to fail to fulfill the hopes or expectations of something. To decay or get worse in strength, health, or quality. We fall down, but we get up. Now, there were times as a baby, before we learned to walk, we would fall down over and over and over and over and over again.
That's right.
Until we learn to balance ourselves and start on that happy journey of walking.
Yes.
Now, in life, sometimes we lose our balance.
Yes.
We stumble, we fall, we crash. The story of our lives, whether relationships, careers, friendships, back up, it becomes more difficult to get back up again when we fall. Because somewhere along the way, we lose our balance. We're not babies anymore. And we lose the art of getting back up.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
We find it difficult.
Yes.
We tell ourselves what a failure we are, losing all hope. Sometimes we set our expectations too high and we're disappointed thinking that there is no other way. But with hope, we understand and have faith that things will work out.
Yes.
We set our expectations too high sometimes. simply because we want to please others. We want to live our lives in the eyes of others. What others think we should do the way that we should be.
Yes.
And then when it doesn't happen, we disappoint ourselves.
Amen.
You've heard me say quite often that sometimes there's nothing wrong with telling your children what, what they should do or aspire to be. But what do you tell them when they fall down? When they hit that brick wall and there's nothing else there for them? What do you tell them? Set your expectations too high.
Yes.
It happens. Now, in life, at any given time, anything can happen.
Yes.
It could happen to either one of us. Without notice, without first-hand knowledge. You can be going about your everyday life, and all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah.
something happens.
Yeah.
We're all familiar with COVID-19. We're going about our everyday lives, and all of a sudden our lives are turned upside down because of the devastation and the of COVID-19.
Yes.
Some of us lost our lives. Some of us lost our jobs. Some of us lost relatives all at once, 2, 3, 4, 5 at one time. Just turned our lives upside down.
Help us God.
We fall down, but we get up.
Yes.
Now, in the Bible, there's a story told about a man named Job. Job had everything he wanted. 7 sons, 3 daughters, 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 teams of oxen, 500 female donkeys, many, many servants. He was the richest man in that entire area.
Yes, he was.
Then one day Satan interfered in Job's life.
Yes.
And he lost everything,
Everything.
including his children and his health.
Wow.
We can say that Job fell down. Now in the book of Daniel, chapter 4, King Nebuchadnezzar's heart was lifted up in pride, and he boasted on his own power and position. And one day while walking across the rooftop garden of his royal palace, he looked around and he said, "This great Babylon that I have built for a royal dwelling in my place and for the honor of my majesty."
Yes.
Sure.
But then Nebuchadnezzar heard a voice cut through the skies that said to him, "To you it is spoken. The kingdom has departed from you."
My Lord.
Nebuchadnezzar lost control of his thoughts,
Wow.
drifted into a temporary insanity, suffering from a disease known as lycanthropy. He thought he was a wolf or a wild animal.
Yes.
For the next 7 years, he would crawl around like a beast, eating grass and unable to function in human society.
My God.
Yeah.
We can say that King Nebuchadnezzar fell down.
Amen.
Now, there was a young man named David. We all know about David. David, one of the most highly revered and important characters in the Bible.
Yes.
He fought and won against a lion and a bear and a giant named Goliath.
Yes, he did.
God used him to lead his people during a difficult time.
Yes, he did.
But with all of that, David had a propensity to sin and sin greatly. In fact, he broke half of the 10 Commandments, which include murder, lying, adultery, coveting another neighbor's wife, and even stealing another man's wife.
Have mercy, Lord.
David was a man after God's own heart.
Yeah.
We can say that David fell down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Even the great Moses, when he was 40 years old, he became filled with rage when he saw an Egyptian taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moses lost his temper, killed the man, buried him in the sand, and he fled into the wilderness, into the desert.
Yeah.
We can say that Moses fell down.
Yes, sir.
Now, the Bible is filled with stories of people just like that, just like you and me, that have struggled, stumbled, fell, and simply just messed up.
Yeah.
It happens.
Messed up, brother.
We all fall down, but can we get back up? For you ladies,
Yeah.
Eve.
All right now.
Help somebody. Come on.
Amen.
Listen.
Eve engaged in conversation with the serpent
Yes.
She did.
that changed everything.
Everything.
Everything. She engaged him in conversation which she never should have. He contradicted everything that God told her.
Yes, he did.
She knew it, but he was enticing. The serpent was a beautiful creature.
Yes, he was.
You know, the serpent was not like the serpent we think of, the snake that crawls around on the ground. It was not like that. Eve engaged him in conversation. Some of you ladies know when you talk to this slick, got more words than the dictionary.
Jim Slick.
And all of a sudden he has succumbed to his slick words. That's what happened to Eve. We can say that Eve fell down.
Yes, sir.
In the book of Genesis, Tamar married one of Judah's sons named Now Judah was one of the 12 sons of Jacob. The Bible says was wicked. So God put him to death. Tamar married brothers, Onan. He was put to death because he could not fill his legal duty as a husband. Now, she was supposed to marry the third son.
Yes, she was.
But because Judah was afraid to lose another son, that didn't happen. So Tamar decided to dress up like a prostitute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
With her face covered. And she waited on her father-in-law. She knew the path that he would take. She enticed him. She had sex with him. And they had twins. We can say that Tamar fell down.
Yes, you can. Yes, you did.
Brothers and sisters, life is going to happen.
Yes, sir.
Things are going to happen to cause you to fall down, sometimes through no fault of your own. Sometimes we would do things to cause us to stumble and fall. Just know that falling and failure is not always failure. But the things that happened to Job and David and Moses, that was not the end of that story.